Hey there, my friend, this is Paul Hutchings, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to set up OBS Studio, and this is specifically going to be for beginning online and affiliate marketers. I'm going to make this as step-by-step and simple as possible. If you're going to be marketing on the internet, learning how to record videos is one of the most important things you can do. I've used many different screen recording softwares and camera options for recording myself on video in my 19 years of online marketing experience. And I have to say that OBS is by far the best in terms of quality, in terms of flexibility, in terms of super cool things you can do. The problem, however, is a lot of people find the setup kind of difficult. So that's the purpose of this video. I'm going to show you how to set this up. Now, the beautiful thing is once you have this set up, it's very, very easy to use. So I'm hoping that as you tune in and pay attention and follow along in these steps, you'll be able to get this set up fairly quickly, fairly easily, understand some of the different aspects of OBS. And at the end of this video, you should have OBS set up and ready to run so you can create amazing videos and content to grow your brand, your online marketing presence, and yes, your income. So here we go. First thing I want to do is demonstrate one of the best reasons to use OBS. Now, I'm actually using Camtasia right now to record this tutorial because there are problems with using OBS to record itself. And since I'm going to be showing you some of the settings, I'm using a different screen recording software to do that. Nonetheless, you should be able to see my video screen, which is in OBS, and then you should also be able to see all of the settings down below. The first thing you'll notice is that the quality is really good. Now, if you are watching this directly from an OBS video, it would be even better. But right now we're passing it through Camtasia. So the quality is amazing. You'll also notice that I have a very nice background behind me. This comes from the ability to utilize a green screen in your recording. So I may talk just briefly about a green screen. If you don't know what a green screen is, it's just this big green screen that you put behind you that allows you to swap out the background. So I can change any color behind me that I want to. And you can find really great green screens for very low cost on Amazon. That's where I ordered mine. So you've got the color, you've got the nice color, you've got the nice video quality, you've got the nice sound, which you'll see as we start setting this up. You also see I've got a logo down here, so you can add a logo. You can add what's called a lower third. And what's a lower third? That's just your name and maybe a title as to what it is that you do, how you can benefit people. So all of these things are possible within OBS, but let me show you a couple other cool things. Let's say I'm recording with this setup and I decide I want to change the background. With the click of a button, I can go to a different scene and have a different logo, a different background, and I could even change the lower third. I could change anything about this. The other cool thing that's great to do when you're creating content is, let's say you want to go from camera view to recording your desktop. Well, let me click another button, and now you can see the desktop. Now, I've stopped the video capture device because you're probably going to see an infinite loop because now I have OBS recording OBS. So you see in the video, there's an infinite loop. But the point is when you're using this, your viewers are not going to see an infinite loop. They're literally just going to see your desktop, what's actually on the screen. So that's a really, really cool thing that you can do with OBS. And you can switch back between all of those things. Another thing you can do with OBS is you can have a video intro. So I could go ahead and play a video intro within my videos. And this will play with audio. And I can loop it, I can stop it and come back to camera. So it's just super, super convenient once you have it set up. But the setup, that's the thing. How do you set it up? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to uninstall OBS from my computer, and I'm literally going to set it up with you and show you around, show you why I'm doing the things that I'm doing, and you can follow this tutorial step by step, have it set up, but also hopefully understand a couple of the aspects of OBS that sometimes people find kind of confusing, but they're not confusing once you understand the why behind them and when you might use them. So let me go ahead and stop OBS here. And by the way, I also have this little document that I'm going to be using as a guide to go through this tutorial, and I'll have this document down below. So not only can you watch the video, but you can also follow along with the document for the beginning setup. So let's go ahead and find OBS. And I'm going to go ahead and click OK. So that's going to uninstall OBS from my computer. So I'm going to be starting fresh, just like you will be. So we're going to jump over here to step number 1, which is download and install OBS. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and I'm going to go to download installer is the one that you want, and that's downloading the installer for me. Step number 2 is once you have the file downloaded, you're going to want to go ahead and run the installer. Now you're also going to want to make sure you're using the right install file depending upon the type of computer that you have. So if you're on a Windows, which is what I'm using, you can go to the Windows, the little Windows icon in the bottom left, and then type in about, and there's a place that says about your PC. So I can look here, and we're going to come down to the Windows specification. So the edition, it's going to tell you which edition of Windows you have, and then you're also going to want to know what operating system type. So this is a 64-bit operating system. So Windows 10 Home and 64-bit. So if I come over to the OBS download page, it says Windows release of OBS Studio supports Windows 10 and Windows 11. So it seems like when I downloaded this before, if I go just to the main page and then click on Windows, it looks like it's just downloading it automatically. So you may not even have to select the version of Windows that you're using. But just in case you do, now you know where to find that. So now that I have this file downloaded, I'm going to run it. So I'm going to find that file, went in my downloads. I'm going to click yes. It's going to set up, next, install, and okay, it's asking me to close Chrome and Skype. So I'm going to go ahead and close out these windows. So I've closed out Chrome. Now I'm going to make sure that I have Skype not open, and it doesn't seem like I do have Skype open. So let's try this again. Okay, it still says that Skype is using OBS somehow. So I'm going to open up Skype. I'm going to go to my settings and on close, keep running Skype. So I'm going to shut that off. Launch Skype in the background, shut that off. So I'm doing this in the general settings, and hopefully that fixes the issue. I can also go Control-Alt-Delete and just check in the task manager for the apps. Okay, it shows I've got Skype running, so I'm going to right click and I'm going to end that. So hopefully that fixes the issue. So now I'm going to come back to OBS, run the installer, and fingers crossed. Yeah, it's working. Okay, great. So while that's installing, I'm going to go ahead and open up my Chrome window again so I can pull back open our notes on what to do once we have it installed. Okay, so it says launch OBS Studio. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll close it and we'll launch OBS Studio and see what it looks like. Okay, so apparently it somehow kept all of my settings. So I was hoping to be able to show you how to do this from scratch, but it did not delete my settings. So that's okay. What I'm going to do is stop the display capture there. And I'm going to come back over to our steps, our install steps. So set up at least one profile. A profile is nothing more than different audio and video settings that you may want to set up for different use cases. So for example, I'm going to show you that with OBS, you can record in what's called an MK4 file format, extremely high quality, and it produces really good video. However, when you do record an MK4 format, you have to then convert it to an MP4 format and shrink the file size down because the file size is really big. So that might be one profile that I set up where whenever I'm in this profile, I want OBS to record in this super high quality video format. Another one, if I show you here in my profiles, I've got MP4, which is a standard video format that you're going to use to upload to YouTube and upload to a lot of different video sharing platforms. So maybe you just want to go in MP4. So you might have a profile for MP4. You might also have a profile for streaming, because with streaming, you may have some different video quality settings. You may also have some settings that are going to output your video directly to different platforms you may want to stream to. All of this to say that in the very beginning, you just need at least one profile. So you could call it YouTube video, and that would be your profile. So you should actually already have a profile here. If you don't, just go ahead and click on New, and then you can name your profile. You could even name it Basic Video Recording. Once we have this configured, whenever we switch the, let's see, optimize for streaming, recording is secondary. Optimize for just recording, I will not be streaming. See, this is an example how the settings for recording can be different than the settings for streaming. So if you're setting OBS up to record videos, I would select this option, optimize just for recording. I will not be streaming. And so we're gonna use the base canvas resolution and either 60 or 30, but prefer 60 when possible, that's fine. And then we're going to apply settings. So when we go into the settings, we need to know which profile we're in. So we're in basic video recording. And again, just set up one profile for now. If there's already a profile here, you can just select it and then rename it, and you can rename it whatever you want. So once we have a profile set up, now any settings that we change, so if we go in and we change the appearance, we change the stream settings, we change the output, we change the audio, we change the video, maybe we want to do a different canvas size, so on and so forth, those settings will be saved to that profile. So if we want to switch to a different suite of settings, it's done in the profile. So that's what the profile is for. And in the beginning, you probably only need one profile. It's not until you get into streaming and recording different types of video. Maybe you might want to use OBS to record short form videos. Well, that has a tall, skinny window versus a wide, shorter window. So you could set that up in a profile, and that would switch your settings, to record in short form video. So step number one, as I mentioned, just set up a profile, and all the changes we make will be assigned to that profile. The next thing we want to do is select your appearance, which is just how OBS looks in your studio. So if we go to File and we go to File, Settings, Appearance, you have a few different options of style. So we could make it classic, and none of this has anything to do with the functionality. It's just how your studio looks. So this is classic. You've got default, which is the one I have, which is the one I like the most. You've got gray. You've got light, if you like lighter colors. You've got Rockney, which is it's got these like turquoise buttons down here, but I'm going to go ahead and select default. So then I'm going to click apply. Now that theme is saved in my OBS Studio. So let's go to the next step. Okay, output recording tab. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on settings down here to the bottom right, and I'm actually going to rename this profile. And I'm going to just call this OBS tutorial profile. That way I don't get it confused with the other settings that I have. Now that we have the profile selected, we're going to click on settings, and we're going to start walking through some of these settings that we want to set up with OBS. So the first one is output recording tab. So right here, output, it's the fourth one down from the left, and we're going to want to select a recording path. Now, what is a recording path? A recording path is simply when you click on start recording and then you click stop recording, OBS is automatically going to take that video file and put it somewhere. You don't have to save as and tell it where to go each and every time. You're just going to select a folder that contains all of your video output from OBS. That's what the recording path is. So if we go into settings, we go to output, and we click here in recording path. So if I click browse, that's going to show me my files. So if I go to videos, and I'm gonna call this OBS tutorial output. Okay, and that's the one I'm going to select for the purposes of this tutorial. And then you see it changed the URL to OBS tutorial output. So you're just going to put it wherever you want your video files to go. Okay. Next thing, we're going to select quality, recording quality, high to medium file size, or you could do indistinguishable quality, large file size if you want the best quality. I'm going to switch over to indistinguishable quality, large file size. Okay. Next, recording format. This is back to where earlier on in the video I mentioned Matroska video, MKV. I may have called it MK4. It's MKV. This is the highest quality video output you can create with OBS. Now, if you don't want to convert your videos after you're done making them, you may want to begin with MP4. So you can select that there. Or you can do the Matroska video if you want the super high quality file size. Once I have changed those settings, I am going to click apply. And now these settings for the output are saved with what? They're saved with the profile, OBS tutorial profile. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is go to my audio tab. So I'm just going to click on settings and I'm going to click on audio. Okay, now here are some settings to put in your audio. 48 kilohertz, this is the best quality audio, and you're going to leave this to stereo and then select desktop audio. Okay, so what is desktop audio? Desktop audio is where when I'm doing a video where, let's say I'm recording my screen and I want to play a video that then plays the sound into the video that I'm recording, the desktop audio is what picks up from the system. So what you want to do is you want to set your desktop audio to wherever the sound from your system is coming from. Okay, that's going to be different than your mic input. So if you're just recording yourself, you don't even necessarily need a desktop audio. Desktop audio, again, is so you can record your voice through the mic input, but then also when you're showing things on your screen, if you click something that has an audio, that audio will now play into the video that you are recording. So I'm going to click back on settings and I'm going to go to audio and desktop audio. I just have that set as default. But if you have another setting within your computer that you want to select to where the sound is coming from, then you can go ahead and select that. But I'm going to leave that on default. But if you go to record a video and you're playing something in the video and the sound is not coming through in the video you're recording, this is where you come to figure out, okay, which one do I need to have selected so that I pick up that sound, okay? So I'm going to leave that on default. Now the next one you're going to do is mic auxiliary audio. This is the sound that you're putting into a microphone to record into. So I have two microphones hooked up to my computer currently. I have one from my Logitech Brio, which is a webcam I have. And I also have an AT2020 USB mic, which is this big bad boy right here. So this is the one I want to use. So I'm going to make sure and select that one. Okay. So the next thing you want to do is click apply. Okay. So here, I'll click apply. There we go. Okay, so now we have the mic setting set up properly. The next thing we're going to do is come over to the video settings. Okay, and these are the settings that you record your video in. You've got the base canvas resolution, and the important thing here is to make sure that you have the aspect ratio at 9 or 16 by 9. And this is going to depend a little bit on what kind of a system it is that you have. I would recommend starting with 1920 by 1080 for both the base and the output. So what are the difference between these two? Let's come over to our trusty AI and see if we can find a good, easy definition. So in OBS, what is the difference between base canvas resolution and output scale resolution? Can you explain this to me like I'm 12? And we'll see what AI says. All right, imagine you're making a poster. The base canvas resolution is like the size of the poster you're working on, what you see while you're editing. It's how big your workspace is. Now the output scaled resolution is like the size of the final printed poster that you give to someone. You might be working on a big canvas, but you decide to print it smaller or bigger depending upon where it's going. In OBS, this means you can record or stream in a different resolution than what you're working with. so you could have a high quality base canvas, but scale it down to something that streams smoother, okay? So in this case, what we're probably going to want to do is just go ahead and do 1920 by 1080, 1920 by 1080. Now, when you do decide to stream, if you stream videos, it may be that you need to reduce this a little bit, the output scaled resolution, so that you have a smaller video file streaming through the internet and uploading to the platform that you're uploading. But I would recommend just starting with 1920 by 1080 on both, and then adjust the scaled resolution if you get into streaming and you notice, your video's having problems. It may be that you need to adjust that. Now, if you want to go to 4K video, first of all, you need a 4K camera. And second of all, you need a platform that you're putting your video on that supports 4K. I would say for the vast majority of things you do online, if not all of the things you do online, you don't need 4K. So 1920 by 1080 is going to be sufficient. If you want to go a little bit smaller, go down to 1280 by 720. And you see that the 16 by 9 aspect ratio stays intact. This is just going to be a little bit smaller of a video file size, so you can play around with that, but for purposes of setting things up, we're going to stick with 1920 by 1080. And then the next thing we need to make sure we have set properly is the frames per second. So you can do 30 or 60. 30 is probably going to be sufficient for most everything you do online, but if you want to test out the higher frames per second, you're welcome to go ahead and save that as 60. So now that we have the video settings the way that we want them, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get into creating the scenes. So you have the ability to create scene selections within OBS. I only have one scene selection. So what is a scene selection? It's just a collection of different changes you might make while recording a video that shift to different video setups. So let me give you just another quick example. Like I showed you in the first part of this video, I might have a desktop scene that's recording my desktop and my display capture, okay? I might have a scene that's just for recording my desktop, and I might have a scene that is me with my name and my logo with a gray background or a black background. That would be a scene. And then I might have a scene that switches the background to white and then has my logo a little bit different color so it pops out from the white. There are really an unlimited number of things you can do with your scenes, but the scene selection is just the name for those. For most people, you're only going to need one scene selection, right? Now, we do events once a year, so if we're using OBS to record our events, we might have a scene selection that is specifically for what we do at an event. And we might be clicking here and showing different camera angles and showing different, text on the screen and all these different things. We would put all of those different scenes within the event scene selection, okay? Hope that makes sense. But again, for setting OBS up, you really only need one, and mine is just called videos. So you can go ahead and name that whatever you want to name it. Rename if there's one there. If there's not one there, just click new, and you can name the scene selection whatever you want to name it. Once we have a scene selection, the next thing we want to do is we want to create scenes. So a scene is, as I've already mentioned, just a different view that people can have within the video that you're creating. So I'm going to say at the minimum, as an online marketer and or affiliate marketer, you're going to want to have a straight camera view of you, and you're probably going to want to have a desktop view if you're showing tutorials and showing people how to do things. So that's 2 scenes, okay? Now I have 3 because I like to have a white option sometimes, but you don't need 3 scenes. You just need probably 2 scenes. Okay, so all of your scenes are going to be down here over in the left-hand bottom side of your OBS Studio. Okay, so I just want to recap here. We've got profile, which changes all the settings. So we're doing the OBS tutorial profile, so I'm going to make sure I'm on that profile. We've got the profile. We've got the scene collection, which I've already explained. We're doing a scene collection for videos. And now we have scenes, okay? So in OBS Studio, once you have your scenes set up, switching between them is simply a matter of left clicking on the different scenes that you have. You see how cool that is? You can just switch to all these different scenes while you're creating your video, okay? But the first thing we need to do is set these scenes up, okay? So how am I going to show you how to do this? I think what I will do is I may just delete these scenes that I have and show you how to set these up. I think that would be the most helpful way to do it. So I'm going to delete my desktop. I'm going to delete my desktop scene. And I'm going to delete my gray camera scene. Okay. So now all I have is the white scene. So for you to set up your first scene, let's go ahead and click on this plus button down here on the bottom left. And we're going to call this desktop. Okay. And once we have the scene created, the next thing we need to do is add sources. Okay. What are sources? Sources are just the elements that you put in to your scene. So, right, let me explain this. You're watching this video right now. Okay, I'm gonna point out the sources. Okay, we've got one source, which is my lower third here, my name with my title. We've got one source, which is a video feed of me and my face. We've got an audio source, which is the audio coming into the video. And I've got the logo, which is an image source, okay? And then I've got this white background, which is an image. So in this scene that you see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sources. So it's just the things that come into your scene that you're going to use to deliver your video. So let me come back over to desktop, and this will make a lot more sense, okay? One thing I will recommend, though, as we're getting into this, is whatever sources you use in a scene, let's say you've got 2 or 3 images that you want to use in a scene, you want to put all of those sources in one folder on your computer that doesn't get deleted. Because if you add sources into this box and then you later delete the images, now OBS doesn't know where to get those files. So you might want to create a folder. And I can actually show you what I have on my computer. I actually have a folder called OBS. Okay, so I have a folder called OBS, and I've got all of my sources that I use from time to time in this folder. And I know not to delete any of those images or video, because if I do, my OBS recording will no longer work, okay? So let's go ahead and add some sources to our desktop scene. So here's the sources box that says you don't have any sources. So we're gonna click on the plus sign, and we're going to add display capture. This is just going to record our desktop. And we're gonna click create new. You could even change it to desktop screen record if that's easier for you to remember. You're going to click OK, and then you're going to leave the capture method as automatic, and then you're going to select the monitor that you have. So if you only have one monitor, odds are you only see one thing here. I have 2 monitors, so I could select another monitor, but this is the one I'm going to select, and then I'm going to click OK. So now we are capturing our desktop here with OBS because we've added that source. Okay, so that's the first thing we want to add. A second thing you may want to add, if you don't see your audio over here in the audio mixer, so you see as I'm talking, it already added my audio here. So I don't need to add audio as a source because it's showing up in my audio mixer. You see I've got desktop audio and mic auxiliary audio. This is probably because in my settings, when we went to the audio settings, we said desktop audio default and mic auxiliary audio, and I set the mic. So I think OBS is just automatically importing those. If you want to make sure your desktop audio is working, what you can do is simply just go to YouTube or find a video on your computer, and let's see here. So you see how the video is playing and this green bar is going up and down because it's pulling this video audio and putting it in the desktop audio. So this is working. So the audio is working. Therefore, we don't need to add an audio source in the sources. The next thing that I like to do when I create a screen capture video is I do like to have a little video of me in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. So if you want to do that, we just need to click the plus button and we need to add a video capture device. We need to add a video capture device. So I'm going to select that, and if I say add existing and I click OK, see how that added my video here? Now, you don't want this video so big when you're doing a screen record, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to select the video capture device, which is just the camera angle of you, and you're going to grab on the top left of the box and just shrink that down, okay? So now, when we click on desktop, so I could be in this other scene where I'm, you know, showing my face, I got the white background, but if I want to show you my desktop, I literally just click on the desktop scene, and now you're seeing my desktop, and I can teach and show you things with a little camera version of me in the bottom right-hand corner. How cool is that? I think it's pretty dang cool, okay? So setting up your screen record scene is pretty simple. The next thing that you're going to want to do in addition to screen recording is you're going to want to set up a camera angle version of you. So I'm going to call this camera black, okay? So this is going to be a new scene, right? Because I want to switch. I want to switch from show my desktop to a camera angle. And thankfully, I do believe it's still recording my audio, so I don't have to do anything there. Okay, so how do we do this? We go ahead and click the plus sign. We click on capture device. And if you don't already have an existing capture device, by the way, which you might not, I'm going to just create a new one to show you what you do here. You're just going to create new, click OK. And then it's going to ask you to select which capture device you want to use. So I have a couple of different cameras here, and it's not actually showing me the live feed of my camera because my camera right now is being used by Camtasia. So it's not giving me the camera feed, but I already set that up before. So I'm just going to go ahead, come to the scene with the black background, come over to sources, click the plus, video capture device, add existing video capture device, and boom, there's my video capture device. Now, what I don't have here is my black background. This is just the black background that's being projected from my green screen utilized with OBS. So I want to add a source that has the background that I want. How do I do that? I come to my sources box, I click the plus symbol, and then I come over to image, and I'm going to select new image test. So I'll just show you what it looks like to select an image, new image test. I'm going to click OK. I'm just going to click on browse. I'm going to come to the folder that I was storing my sources in, and I'm going to find that background, and I'm going to click OK and OK. And now you see there is the background, okay? Now, two things here. It's covering my face, and it's not filling the screen. So let's fix this. To fill the screen, just grab the bottom right-hand box, drag it all the way over. Okay, so now my background is the right size. And in order to get my camera in front of that, I'm going to right-click on Video Capture Device. I'm going to come to Order, and I'm going to say Move to Top. Boom. So now it moved my camera in front of this black background. So what other things might I want to have on a video view? I might want to have a logo. If you have a logo, it's a great thing to add to your videos. So again, a logo is nothing more than an image, which is nothing more than a source. So we're going to come to the sources box, click on the plus, select image, and then we're going to either create new if we don't have any, and we're going to go find that file. I already have some things in here, so I'm going to select my logo, which is going to be the white solid color background. Nope, that's the wrong one. So if you add a source that you messed up on, you're just going to come down here in your sources. You can right click and remove, and that'll remove that source there. So I'm going to see if I can find this image, add existing, and I don't see it. So I'm going to add logo transparent, and then I'm going to go find this file. And here it is. So I'm going to select it, click open, click OK, and now you see that's huge. So what do? Grab the box on the top right, and let's make this logo look a little bit better. Okay, so I could leave it like that or make it smaller if I want. Okay, so there's that. So now I got a logo on my video. Another thing I'm missing right now is a lower third. So again, lower third is just your name with your title, and that is nothing more than an image. So there are a few different ways to add lower thirds to your videos. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I did it. So I just went to canva.com, and once I'm logged into Canva, I can search for lower third options in Canva. Okay, so there are all these different lower third options you can use. What you'll probably want to do is find the one that you want, delete the background behind it. So I think I used this one. So I clicked it, I opened it, and see how I've got a background here, and then I've got elements. So I don't want that, I just want this. So I deleted the background. I'm going to type my name in, make this bigger, left click this, make that bigger. And there we go. So now we have a lower third. Now if I left click and download, I'm going to select PNG. I don't want a video. And I'm then going to select transparent background, and I'm going to click download. So that's going to download this lower third to my computer. So now I just need to come back over to OBS, and we're going to add that lower third as an image, which again is the plus sign and image and lower third example. And I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to come to my downloads folder, and I'm going to select this. See that? Pretty cool, right? And because I downloaded it as a transparent image, it's only showing the text and allowing my video to come through. Now, what if you want this smaller? Simply left click and drag down smaller. Pretty cool, right? So the other thing that you might play around with on the lower thirds and other images that you might be adding to your video is you can right click and you can go to blending mode, and this will just add some different effects to your lower third. You see I added one mode, and I don't know if you can see this, but it's kind of transparent. So now when I move my hand, it's transparent behind that lower third. So you can just play around with the blendings if you want to, darken them, make them lighter, so on and so forth. Blending mode. Okay. So now we have downloaded OBS. We have set up a desktop view with a camera, and you can add a lower third here if you want as well. We've also set up a camera view with a lower third and a logo. And we are rocking and rolling here in OBS. And this is easier than you may have thought, right? So I'm going to come back over to my notes here and see if there is anything else we want to add. So we've added video, added audio, added logo, add more scene variations. So let me show you this. If you set up a scene just the way you like it with the settings you want, and you want to create another scene and maybe just change it a little bit. So I'll show you an example of this. So I'm going to select on my camera white, and I'm going to delete that scene. So what you can do is you can come over here to the scene that you like, and you can right click and say duplicate. So now I'm duplicating all the work that I just did. All the sources are being transferred, so I don't have to go and do that all again. So I'm just going to call this camera, and I'm going to call this white, as in white background. Okay, so now that I'm in this scene, I just need to come and find my background. I think it's this one. I think I called it new image test. We'll remove that. Yep, so that removed the background. And now all I need to do is add a source image that is white and white background. So create new. We're going to click OK. We're going to go find that file in my OBS folder, 1280 by 720. And yeah, that's another thing to be aware of. If you're looking for backgrounds for your videos, you can easily just go to Google and search 1280 by 720 and background in whatever color it is that you want. So now we have the white background, and the other thing we need to do now is take the video capture device, right click on it, and go to order and move to top. Okay, so now that is there. And I might want to move my lower third up, order, move up. So now my lower third is showing up, although the color is not right because I have a white background. So I would either need to go into Canva and change the colors there, or maybe I can darken that. Yeah, and that still doesn't look great. So you'd have to play around with that. And then also because I have a white background, I don't want a white logo. I'm going to need to change the color of that logo. But the point is, you can duplicate your scenes and, you know, have them set up and ready to go, mostly to where you just need to edit them a little bit, and you are good to go. The other thing that I wanted to show you in this tutorial video is any of your sources that are in a scene, you can hide by just left clicking on that little eyeball. See how that took away those sources from the video feed? So you can leave the sources in, you can delete them, you can hide them, you know, whatever you want to do within those sources. So the other thing that I wanted to show you is how to add a video that you can play inside of a scene. So if you start recording and you want to play a video, you can do this. So again, anything that goes within what the viewer can see, that window, anything that's in that is a source. So to add a video inside a scene, we're going to add a source that is a video. So I'm going to come back over here to sources. I'm going to left click here, and I'm going to select media source. Okay, so media source. I'm going to call this intro video, and we're going to left click. And we're going to go here and we're going to select a video. We're going to click open, and I can select this video to loop, and I can then click OK. So you see right when I open the scene, so if I'm in this scene and now I come to this scene, my video starts playing. Now obviously I need to fix the size. So select that, drag it down. Okay. So if I want to make my videos and have an intro to all of them, I could literally just have a scene that when I click on the scene, I would click record, click scene, boom. Now I have that video playing. And if I want to stop it, I just select this little eyeball there and it stops it. So now you can play intro videos in the front of your videos and also at the end of your video if you so desire. Okay, so let's look here at my notes. You know what? I think we're almost done for today. Couple other things to be aware of. If you're going to record with OBS, depending upon how fancy you want to get, it might be worth investing in a green screen and also a set of lights. So my light setup, I have 2 soft boxes right up here, and then I have 1 light above me that's not on right now. But the light above me, I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of green line around my edges. And I learned from one of my friends, Bryce Tomlinson, if you put a light right above you coming down on you, so you have two lights on you and then you have one light coming down, that will get rid of that little green around your body. There actually were a couple of other things that I wanted to share with you. So in relation to that, so green screen, if you have a green screen, set up the green screen behind you, get your lights on you. You are going to want to add a video filter to your video feed that will allow for green screen. So the way to do that is you just right click on your video capture device, okay? And then you're going to go to filters, and maybe I'll actually delete this filter so you can see what it looks like. So if I don't have that filter on, you just see this green screen, right? What you're going to see when you set OBS up is whatever is behind you. But if you have a green screen and set it up, you're going to see this green screen behind you. But if we come over here to the video capturing device, we right click, we go to filters, and then we click on effect filter, chroma key, okay, exit, boom. Now we got green screen action happening. And it's pretty cool that we can have a green screen and change our background to whatever it is that we want the background to be. So that's how you do a green screen with OBS. There are two other things I want to show you, and then we'll be done with the video. The second thing I want to show you is audio filters. So you can record with OBS just as is, and odds are it might be great. You may also want to add some audio filters. I noticed that when I was just recording as my mic comes out of the box, when I would say things like, "Hi, this is Paul," there's a popping sound that goes into the mic and like this poof of air, right? And so in adding filters, you can fix a lot of that and clean up your audio. So here are just a few filters you can add and play with your audio. I'm going to see if I can find where I put those here on this little document. Okay, so compressor. So how do we do this? We right click on the audio input source, the mic input source, and we go to filters, and it looks like I've got them all added here. So you would just basically click on this little box, select the filter that you want, adjust the settings the way you want them, and then you've got the filter. But I'm just going to walk through each of these and show you the settings that I have, which, by the way, you're not hearing on this video because I'm recording with Camtasia, unfortunately. So, but I did want to get these settings out to you. So we've got noise gate, and you see the settings here. Negative 35 decibels on closed threshold, negative 25 on open threshold, attack time 10, hold time 200, and release time 150. By the way, I'm pretty happy with these settings. I've been testing them with my OBS recording, and I like how the audio comes out. So you can start with these if you don't like the audio that you have just out of the box. Noise suppression, good quality, more CPU usage. Compressor, ratio 4.0.1, threshold negative 18 decibels, attack 5 milliseconds, release 60 milliseconds, output gain 3 decibels, and sidechain ducking none. And I'm going to have all these in the document below too, by the way. So if you're not catching these as I'm going through them, that's fine. You can check out the document below. Limiter, threshold negative 3 decibels, and release 60 milliseconds. So those are things you can do to enhance your audio. Now, the last thing that I wanted to show you is how to actually record a video with OBS. Once you have your scenes set up with your desktop and you are just ready to click record and make a video, all you do is click start recording. Hey, this is Paul. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome to this super exciting video where I'm going to be sharing with you some life-changing information. Please sit back, relax, tune in, and pay attention. Stop recording. That's it. So start and stop right there, right there. Where do you find your video? File, show recordings. And where's that going to take us? That's going to take us to the folder that you told OBS you wanted the recordings to go to, right here in this recording path that we talked about earlier on in this video. So I created a folder named OBS tutorial output. So now that I have all that set up, I literally just click record, talk, click stop, and then I go to file, show recordings, And there it is. It's in OBS tutorial output. Let's take a look and see how this came across. Hey, this is Paul. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome to this super exciting video where I'm going to be sharing with you some life-changing information. Please sit back, relax, tune in, and pay attention. So there you go. We got video recorded. We got OBS set up. We've got a scene or two set up. You now understand what a profile is. You understand what sources are. And you know how to record and create a recording. So you are well equipped to record some of the highest quality videos on the internet with OBS. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. There is no limit to what you can do with your content creation. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. And I want to encourage you to get out there, make it a great day, take action, and whatever you do, always go for your dreams. We'll see you in the next tutorial.